Okay. Alright, so this is Nyru. I am back with another DPS how-to video. This is going to be my DPS 102. Oh, shit. My computer shut off. Which is going to be introduction to the finer points of gearing appropriately and doing all of the extra stuff in the game. So, when we look at gear, we're going to look at kind of how to gear out your characters. What I mean by that is there's a lot of different classes in the game. Some classes can have more than one type of subclass. Myself as a paladin, I can have a tank subclass PvE, a PvP tank subclass, or a DPS subclass. And so, you know, when I get gear, I'm kind of picking out what substats do I want it to have? What am I looking for? Is it dodge? Is it crit? Is it resistance? Is it haste? What stats do I even want for my class, and why do I want those? So when I talk about main and substats, I'll look at pieces of gear here and kind of give you a breakdown. So the main stats are going to be kind of your cream colored here, stamina, strength, dexterity, and then your substats are going to be the green ones down here. Now this is a good example. The purple boots that I have here, I've kept for my tank spec because the equip is dodge and block, versus the blue quality ones, the sky greaves that I have over here. The equip effect is haste I have on there. Haste is going to be better than dodge for a DPS. So of course I'm gonna use those ones. Even though the gear level is going to be lower on the iron blood greaves that I have here, I'm still going to use them for my tank because I'm not concerned about the gear level. I'm concerned about how good it is for me and how effective of a job I can do. But we'll get to that in a minute. So when you're picking your stats, you want to consider your rotation, because there's a lot of different stats. You've got crit, you've got penetration, you've got haste, things like this. So, when you're looking at your rotation, does it involve, several skills with long cooldowns that you need to get out? Do you rely on, auto attack for a good bit of damage? You're going to want to probably try to get a decent bit of haste. Do you have like one big attack that it's just gonna like make you feel like Thanos because you're just gonna fucking one shot for people? Like for me, I know that's gonna be my Blade of Retribution. That's more like, let's do some crit, and then everybody's kind of, if you're a DPS and you're breathing, then you want to make sure you have your hit stat up to 100%. Now, that's just the facts right there. But there's a good bit of stats to pick from. On a basic level, you don't have really necessarily much of a choice what you get for a while as you're leveling, because gear drops, you're going to get better and better gear drops that are just what am I trying to say? That are just going to help out, the core stats are going to help out more than the substats as you're leveling, and you're just going to get gear so fast that there's not a lot of a point in time investing into like smelting and things like that, and cleansing, and we'll get into that in a little bit here. But my point is that really, like, once you get to like level 55 plus, you're really going to want to start paying closer attention to what stats are on your gear. And again, that being said, keep in mind, please, gear score is not, you just don't worry about it, because that's just there to kind of make your EPing hard. It does not matter at all. The only thing it really factors into technically is getting into Overlord dungeons. But if you have gear that has shitty stats on it, or not shitty, but that is statted incorrectly for your role, then you're going to be extremely subpar in that dungeon. Everybody's going to hate you, and you might just get kicked out because you're not doing anything. I know I've kicked plenty of people out of dungeons when I'm tanking because they're not out DPSing the tank, and I don't fucking stand for that nonsense. So, just know, you're looking for stats. You're not looking for scores. That's going to be, the biggest thing. you can have a pumped up score, but then you go into a dungeon and you look like a little bitch because you're not doing any damage. Sometimes the score of the item will directly correlate if it's just a direct, stat for stat upgrade. But like, again, look at what stats you need for your rotation, for your class, and focus on getting those stats. Don't focus on item levels. So the next big thing is, how do we improve stats? Obviously gear, gem embedding, books, explore points, archaeology, bloodline, mastery, talents, sigils, pets, costumes, cleansing, enchanting, smelting, artifacts and artifact reforging, titles via achievements, and mount collection. There is a annoying amount of ways to improve your stats. We're going to go through each one at a time. Obviously your gear, you're going to get gear from dungeons. You're going to get gear from treasure chests, raids, both guild raids and solo raids, overlord dungeon keys, shop tokens, which is like the tokens that you get from raids. I was saying, I got to do this book really quick here. I have no fucking idea. Oh, it's Medusa. Yeah, okay. Anyways, wanted to get my stuff. Consignment shops, you're going to get gear from, aka the auction house, the trade shop. So there's a lot of different ways to get gear. The other stuff is almost as important because it adds up so quickly. So we're going to go through one thing at a time. So first things first, when you hit level 60, you get what's called your bloodline. That's going to be under your character tab. Basically, I'm just going to run through the menu from top to bottom. So character tab, bloodline. Right here, you're going to see essentially what it is after you hit 60, you continue accruing experience and leveling up, so to speak. So, you hit level 60, you get a soul level, and you can buy, like right now, it costs a soul. I hit soul level, I get a soul, I spend 1 soul and 33,000 crowns to level it up, and I get stats. And it just gives you a little bit extra of a boost of stats along the way. It's just a small reward for playing the game at the end of the day and just continuing to play. Then you've got your skills. Obviously, you guys know by this point you can level up your skills. You can engrave your skills, which is going to help them help them be more effective. But leveling up your skills is big. Again, like for me, I use energy essence and life shards. Life shards I'm going to get from normal and adventure dungeons and from the consignment shop as well. I buy them a lot off the consignment shop because I also sell the ones that I don't need. Like if I get the other two for like warriors and shit, I don't need that. I just sell it. And then I use that money to buy the life shards that I need. So it's just kind of trading in betwixt people essentially to help everybody grow. You've got your mastery. Now, I want to make a point here. The mastery is more geared towards helping your skill grow, as far as making that specific skill more powerful. However, if you look at the very top on the left, it says total mastery attribute bonus and current mastery bonus. So each mastery skill, you have 3. Each mastery skill is going to give you different stats as you level it. So like my force grip has strength and stamina. I get 50% of that to my total mastery attribute. Temple Knight, 49 strength. I get half of that to my total attribute mastery. Divine Verdict, I get all that stamina. Well, I have 138 stamina put into that right now. So those extra stats, they add up. It doesn't cost a lot to at least get the other 2 to like level 9. Once you get your main one up to like tier 1, because it's, like I said, it's just going to give you a little extra bonus. As far as your talents, obviously, your talents are going to give you, like this one's got attack speed, you got crit rate. Every single DPS should be into strategist tier 1, hit rate 3%. If you don't, you're fucking doing yourself a huge disservice. Hit rate is super important. It doesn't seem like having, 95, 97% hit rate is going to hurt you very much. But if I throw out an attack that does 70,000 damage and that shit misses, that's 70,000 damage that isn't done. If that happens 15, 20 times during a fight, that adds up to a lot. So you want to make sure that your hit rate is higher and that you have everything with your hit rate that you can. As that talent and then into the artifact tree are the only two ways that I currently know that you can improve it, but you should do both. Anyways, so then you've got your sigils. Sigils are pretty straightforward. The only way to get them is to do the sigil merge, which you get sigil points. If you're a tank, you get it through the tank bonus chest. There you get them through like doing dailies and stuff like that. The sigils, everybody gets a free one every day. But yeah, just doing the sigil merges. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't, and then just putting them in here. But focus on figuring out a way, like I said, to make sure you're getting enough sigils so that you can do this on a regular basis, because there are some in here, this has 1.5% hit rate on it. This has haste on it. This one was a strength and like dodge. I mean, that's a nice little chunk right there. I actually didn't even realize I had that hit one. I'm gonna fucking use that because that's really good. Because that's, again, another way to get my hit rate up, right? So, these all have, 1.2% crit. That adds up fast. I mean, this is 1, 2, 3. Let's see here now. I've got about 4.5. Yeah, about 4.5% extra crit rating. Just from these sigils. Again, it doesn't feel like a lot when you're looking at it, but it adds up quick. Obviously, transfers just to transfer between classes. All right, so that's some of that. Pets, you're just gonna get pets randomly dropped along the way. They drop from different bosses, different events. You can fish them up. I have the mini fire elemental from I don't know, Ragnaros. I don't know what the fuck he's called in this game, but it's essentially Ragnaros. Got him. Some pets even have different skills. The orange fat is a really good one for DPS that you can buy. You can get it out of the paid chest. You can just buy it. It's like 200 gold off the auction house. If you save your pennies for a week or two, you could probably buy one. It has a skill damage bonus increased by 12% for 10 seconds. It's just like a proc that goes off. Really helpful. Definitely worth investing your money in once you get to the point that you have the extra money for it. Let's see here now, and then we're going to go to appearance. This is another thing. Even something as simple as costumes can have effects on your stats. This one, 2 intellect, 2 stamina. This one's flight speed 30% off, or 30%. I mean, they're not necessarily going to make or break your character. It's just a nice little extra bonus. Honestly, it's a kind of a money grab because they're just trying to get you to spend a couple extra bucks in the store. But they look cool sometimes. Give you a little extra. I don't really give a fuck about it personally because I like the way I look. I go to Men's Warehouse. I like the way I look. It's a little funny joke for you guys. Anyways, so appearance, let's see here now. Achievements, again, you can get your, does it have my titles in here? Fuck, where are we? I don't think titles are under achievements. Doesn't matter. Yeah, there they are. So, nope, that's not it. I don't know, whatever. Oh, you know what titles are? If you click on your character, titles, there they are. Okay, yeah, we'll backtrack a little bit. But there's different titles. The legendary titles give you a shitload of stats. Especially like the percentile ones are really nice. PvP power 1%, PvP power or PvE power 1%, stuff like that. Those are big. Another extra little something. You got your artifact. Your artifact, you level up in the top. You see that 140. So that's your I don't know what it's called. Tainted energy. That's what it's called. So you get that when you join a guild and you join a faction. You can go to the faction zone and kill elementals, and they give you between 5 and 10 energy depending on if you're killing small, medium, or large elementals. The medium are probably like the best time wise as far as like how long it takes to kill them and all that fun stuff, and not getting killed by other people. The brutal ones, they give you the most. They give you 10 energy each. You can do 500 a day, so it adds up really quick. You get a lot. At my point in time, I need 2,850 to get one of these artifact crystals, and the artifact crystals, you just need one to level up your artifact. I've got my Flona's Mercy all the way maxed out, which is great. This is another way to get hit rate I've got 2% on here. That's again another way to get it for the DPS. The first tier completion, basic attack plus 15%, freaking great. I think, yeah, turbulence gives you 2% PvE strength. Super good for DPS. And then you just kind of move on to the next one. Eudora's Burning Rage is really good for DPS too, because the basic ones give you a lot of hit points. And then like you've got you've got crit rate, basic attack plus 15% after the first tier. I think this one is, yeah, hit points again. So there's a lot of really, another 5% that'll stack up to 10% attack. There's a lot of really useful stats that you can get out of your artifact at the base level, and then you can reforge your artifact as well. I've been kind of tinkering with this a little bit, and I'm gonna spend one of these Flona's crystals just to show you guys how this kind of works. But basically, when you hit level 60, you can reforge your artifact, and what it does is it improves upon the talents that are there. So right now, it gives you base stats, and then it also, there's 2 trees here. So you've got, I've got crit damage plus 3%, and then Nick of Time level 2, so it just basically doubles what I have as far as my Nick of Time skill. Increases, let's see, your abilities have a cooldown of 30% seconds or longer, will increase your damage done and healing by 15% for 6 seconds. So those skills, when they're on cooldown, increases my damage by 15%, which that's like my horse and shit like that. And then you've got, again, you've got Blessing of Eudora, Blessing of Delo. These are gonna give you the stats. I don't know how to get the Delo's essence. Oh, you know what? You probably actually, I bet you merge the Flona's essence into those. I haven't fiddled with it yet because I just got 60 yesterday, but I'll tinker with that later. Anyways, a lot of this game, as you guys know at this point, is just tinkering, figuring things out as you go, and just, spend some time out of combat to look through all this stuff and figure your shit out. But I'm going to show you this reforge. So basically what this does, I'm just going to hit reforge. It spends a Flona's essence, and it changes the stats that I can have, increasing, like right now it would increase my strength by 3, dexterity by, 16? It's got to take 30 stamina. That's huge. Intellect and spirit, I don't give a shit about. And then it gives you, and then it changes the skills that you can have here too. So like now I've got Dragon Scale and Focus, and then Heart of Iron, Splendor, and Readiness. I don't think I actually want any of those, so I'm just going to cancel. I'm not going to really worry about it. The extra strength and dexterity isn't that big of a deal. I do want all that stamina for survivability. So that's kind of an example of how Reforge works. Again, it's just tinkering with it, reforging to get your best stats out of it possible. As far as the equipment, so this is going to be a big chunk of the tinkering that you're going to do with your character. So the embed, a lot of the gems that I have are for tanking because I leveled up as a tank essentially. And so, but there are different gems that you can get in the game. Gems, we'll talk about how to get them later, but there's a number of different types of gems to get throughout the game. As you should know at this point, when you have a certain number of gems, you can combine them into themselves to level the gems up. So they'll grow along the way essentially. You don't have to really necessarily put a ton of effort into finding them. There's a number of different ways that you can get them. They come naturally to you, but just level up your gems and make sure, like I've got resistance gems in here, but I probably should have the life gem, because that's going to give me 16 strength and 16 intellect, and I can get those from dark challenges and from merging. We don't have the access to that yet, but we will eventually, and then I will focus on getting that. Cleansing is really fucking cool. So basically, at this point, if you didn't know, each piece of gear has a C through SS rating. So what that means, the stats on it can fluctuate. So when I get a new piece of gear, as a good example, I got this hammer earlier. It was an A rating and the strength was lower than the weapon I was using, but it had crit, it had haste. I wanted it, so I put it in here. I cleansed it, and it uses these items called Force Stones. that you get a number of different ways, but when you cleanse it, it kind of does like what that artifact does and changes the base stats of the weapon. Sometimes it can go down, and you don't have to pick it if it does. It's not like it automatically switches it over. Well, you know what? Fuck it, I'll just show you guys. I didn't want to do this, but I'll do it for you. So I hit cleanse. And like, okay, so this is going to drop it down to a B rating. I'm not going to hit the replace button because I don't want my crit to go down. But you can cleanse it again. It might go up to double S, and then you can replace it at that point. I'm not going to do anything with that right now. I just wanted to show you guys what you can do with it. But it's nice if you get a piece of gear that it's a little bit of a lower rating than, you know, the one you have, but it has better stats. You can cleanse it and perk it up. And that also goes along with smelting. I skipped enchanting. I'll jump back to that, but that goes along with enchanting as well. Or, I'm sorry, smelting as well. So essentially, let's say that shield, you know, we'll look at my warrior shield. So my shield is a gear level of 72. My chain is a gear level of 60. I can't use my shield in DPS form because it's specifically for tanking. So I'm going to use my chain, but by God, is my shield is way stronger than my chain. So I can go into my equipment, and you can upgrade or smelt the chain up to the same gear level as the shield. So whenever you find a piece of gear, you can, and you have the gear atlas, so you can see what your highest, don't hit class, but you can see what the highest gear level you have for each piece of gear. So like for my weapon, it's level 88. For my heavy shoulders, 88, greaves 65, so on and so forth. So you will be able to take a piece of gear, and again, if it's a lower gear level, upgrade it to the maximum gear level of the stuff that you've obtained. So if you find something that's not quite as strong, you can finagle it to make it as strong. It's not a guaranteed proc. That's why you've got 3 different crystal types, and they give you the rate of success. But it is, again, a way to find unoptimized gear that has the right stats on it for you and increase the stats, because you can't change the stats, but you can increase them. As it is like one of my favorite systems in the game right now. And then you have enchanting. So through God, I don't even fucking know how to get enchants. Let's see here now. Leatherworking consignments. So I guess you can, you know, get different enchants. Oh, you know what? You buy them through reputation. So when you're in the reputation store, as you rep up, you'll see different enchants. You can buy them and use them through your crafting. So like I have blacksmithing. Eventually I'll get those ones, and then I can like get the, you know, enchant clothes stamina 1, increase my, you know, the armor by 85 stamina. Once I get the second one, you can increase it by 145 stamina. Enchanting's pretty straightforward through any game, but essentially that's how you get to it. You know, is through your crafting. All right. So then mercenary doesn't have any impact on your stats that I know about anyways. If it does, then God have mercy on us all. Collection. This is one of the silliest ways to improve your stats, but it's super fucking effective. So like your mount, there's different quote unquote achievements for collecting sets of mounts, and you'll see like Jungle King, you know, if I get all of these, it'll increase my stamina by 8. I wouldn't really rely on that to get your stats up, but you know, if you have the opportunity to get it, it's coincidental, you know, get it. It's the same thing with your emblems. The higher quality, like this is Master, unlock 1 epic mount. Lord, unlock 1 secret mount. Legend, unlock 1 legendary mount. And you can see the stats go up little by little. Not a ton, but it helps. You know, at the end of the day, you know, you want to, I mean, well, I guess sacred crit rate by 5%, that's a big chunk. But, you know, again, you know, it's not something, you know, you're going to go hunting for these mounts per se. You know, you're not going to spend 30 of your dollars in the store to buy a mount unless you're fucking, you know, actually, if you have a bunch of extra money, I guess go for it. I don't care. Do whatever you want with your money. I don't think it's worth it though. And then you've got your books. Anyways, I'll move on. So you've got your books. Throughout the world, there are different books that are randomly sitting on the ground. You go, you find them. There is several threads on Reddit that have Google Docs that show the what am I trying to say? The coordinates for each book. Get the Google Doc, go find each book. It'll increase, let me see here now. So right now, with the known books that I've been able to find, Spirit +10, Strength 13, Dex 6, Intellect 10, Stamina 44. Nice little stat boost. It also, as you progress through the phases, it gives you diamonds as well, which is a nice way to get some extra diamonds. You can buy some costumes, you can buy some mounts, whatever you like to do. You can get married, have fun, do your thing. You've also got surviving scrolls. These are a lot harder to find. I've got 5 of them out of 21. Most people don't even know where they are right now. We're kind of figuring it out as a community going along. But you know, as like I said, with those Google Docs on the Reddit page, definitely go and look at that to find the stuff. Again, you know, not a huge stat boost, but it doesn't really take a lot of time to go do this stuff either. So just go, you know, take, you know, an hour out of your day. You can go find all the books. You can go do all the sceneries. But when you get this maxed out, it's got this fucking bonkers title, and that's I mean, everybody I think should be 100% going for that. 1% haste, 2% crit damage, parry, PvP power, resistance, base stats. It's got a lot of stuff on here. It's really nice. So then the next thing is the scenery. We do have that unlocked. You kind of get it as you go throughout the game, so you might already have some of them unlocked as well, but you'll find explorers throughout the game, NPCs, and you just talk to them, and you know, they show you a nice little clip of the scenery, and that's it. And again, you know, it gives good base stats. It gives the phase rewards where like I got like the miniature evil mansion, you know, gift for a friend, you get the diamonds, you get some nice little stuff. All right, archaeology. Let's see here now. I don't even know how to look at all of my stats for archaeology. Oh, there we go. Okay, archaeologist, total attributes. This is a big one. So strength 40, dex 50, intellect 44, spirit 52, stam 8. This is giving me a ton of stats right now. So basically archaeology, the biggest way to do it, you can buy archaeological findings, I guess you'd call it. I don't fucking know. Off of the chamber. What is it? Yeah, the chamber in the shop here. Some of them are really expensive. This one's 3 million crowns, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I don't really want to spend that much on it. I might do it, pull the trigger, because, you know, I kind of like to collect everything. Obviously, just doing your dailies, your archaeological dailies, is going to get you that as well. Let's see here now. So we're going to go through... this is just the guild. The guild, again, the guild doesn't really give you any kind of stat boosts. Crafting doesn't give you any stat boosts. You just craft some nice stuff. And then, you know, merging, obviously. Oh, I want to check that Fiona's out now. What does that do? Eudora's Essence. Yeah, that's how you get those. Oh, nice. That's just 2 to 1. Yeah, I'll pop one in there and get a Eudora, see if I can get anything good out of that later. Okay, anyways. Sorry, I'm doing my own thing while I'm doing this video. But it's really pretty much a breakdown of how you're going to get all of your stats up throughout the game. There's, again, a lot of different ways to get them up. Now, I'm sure, you know, a lot of people are just like, how do I find the materials for this stuff? Everywhere. You find it fucking everywhere. Treasure chests, if you look down at your chat log, right to the left, you see voice, action, friends, treasure chest. Just ignore everything, hit treasure chest. I've got 2 going. You get like silver treasure chests all the time. You get golden treasure chests for completing 100% of your daily tasks. Usually I just let those go overnight while I'm asleep. The 3-hour silver chests I'll unlock throughout the day. I got a silver treasure and got the where is it here? The epic loot box. Okay, it's not popping up on here. It doesn't matter. But I got an epic loot box off of it, and got that level 88, or the item level 88 weapon that I got earlier. You get really great stuff off of it. I'm fairly sure that the stuff you get out of them, as far as gear is concerned, is scales with your like actual level. I don't know if it scales with your current item level or not, but at least your character level, at the bare minimum, it seems like it scales with. I've been opening chests since day one. So yeah, it just that's basically as far as that's concerned. How to get some stuff. Obviously dungeons, raids, guild raids, solo raids. If you're not in a guild right now, join one. If you need a good guild, come talk to me in game. I'll try and hook you up in our guild. We need healers and DPS. Overlord dungeon keys, that's a nice one too. If you go to the Overlord tab, over to the right here, you see challenge Overlord dungeon, acquire royal key, open royal reward. I don't really know much about that. I just did it for the first time today, but my buddy Rip told me that you can do that once a day. I have no idea if you can do it more than that or whatever, depending on how many of these you run, but at the very least, that's what we know about it so far. And I got a pretty decent weapon out of that. I think it was item level 83 weapon out of that. That was before I got that 88 out of a treasure chest, which is hilarious that the treasure chest was better than the Overlord dungeon reward. But anyways, that's just kind of how the cookie crumbles. There's you got shop tokens that you get from like the raid tokens that you get. Different level raids, like this is heroic commendation. Different level raids give you different commendations. So far we have these ones right now, and then if you aren't really sure how to get an item, let me see here, what's a good, and I showed you already, but like as an example, so I need to level up my skills, and I'm like, I need 20 life shards. How do I get that? Just click on it and it'll literally just tell you where to get it. If you don't have the opportunity to do more normal dungeons or more adventure dungeons for the day, and you can buy it on the consignment. If there's none on consignment, then just fucking go outside and take a break. If you're playing this game outside, then put the phone down and just go fucking look at some birds or something. I don't really know what people do with their time because I just play games inside my house. That's, I think, it. I think that's everything I had to go over with you guys. I know that was a lot, and I hope that it wasn't too rambly, but those are basically all the different ways, like I said, that you're going to get your stats up. When you look at your stats, you've got your basic, you've got your advanced, and you can kind of go over everything as far as how much you have, and what you might need to get a little bit more out there. I want to look at my hit stat because I just accuracy. Oh yeah, it's 98.5 on 63s now. All right, that's better. That's better than it was because it was only 97 before. So we want to get that up to 100. And you'll see exactly what stats you need and everything. And yeah, that's about it. So I'm gonna go away now, and hope you enjoyed this video. All right, goodbye.